Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week we're talking about old guitar. Van Helsing.
Van Helsing?
I guess I never, I didn't remember that soundtrack. So when the like traveling scene happened in the beginning, and then you understand that this is the theme, and it's like that, like the guitar picking is like ding 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 ding. It has that weird classical feel, but at the same time it has like a backbeat. So you're like, what am I watching, man?
Yeah, it's like something modern but also classic, and it's very confusing.
Is this it? Let's see. Oh, no, this isn't the one. Oh, here it is. Like, it's really cool, but I also don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know, like when you hear a theme, you're like, there's a thing. Ba, 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 yeah, theme. And this one is very much like, I'm going to run in a field on a horse.
Yeah, there's something here, but I can't quite find it.
Alrighty. How are you, dude?
I'm doing all right.
You know what? I'm trying to make this feel like we're friends.
I'm doing horrible. I don't want to be here. I'm good.
Rocking my shoe for 3 days.
Got sick again. Don't know how that happened, but you know.
Sick again. I don't know. That sucks.
Yeah, but you know, I'm okay.
I feel like I'm either getting sick again or my body's just like, life's hard, man.
Yeah.
Like I get, like when I go to sleep at night, I have like a little tiny wheeze and I'm like, am I getting pneumonia again?
Are you like that penguin from Toy Story 2? It's the second one, right? Or is that the first one?
It's the second one.
It's the second
and
one.
I'm just going to say, I wish I had that guy's voice. It's a fun voice. Alrighty. Van Helsing, 2004. Directed by Stephen Sommers, who we have talked about before.
Yep.
He did The Mummy.
The Mummy.
And The Scorpion King.
The Mummy.
But
The Mummy.
Did we watch The Mummy?
The Mummy. Yeah, we watched The Mummy.
Okay. There's a few movies that I genuinely can't remember. Like, wait, who was this? Who did I watch this with? Produced by Stephen Sommers and Bob Ducsay. Ducsay. CS always gets me real like confused.
That's
yeah.
Of
Ducsay.
A
Ducsay.
Mm-hmm.
Ducsay. CS, when they're right next to each other, always get me confused, except for C.S. Lewis, because you just say C and S, and then you're done.
Great example.
I hate myself for it. Stephen Sommers wrote it, distributed by Universal Pictures, produced by Universal Pictures and Sommers Company, the Sommers Company, and Carpathian Pictures.
Ooh.
Bet there was lots of leather involved. Oh, wait, there was. Oh, how about that? Anyway, PG-13 for nonstop creature action, violence, frightening images, and sensuality. That is, you know what? That's the whole plot. That's the recap rewind.
Yeah.
Nonstop creature action, violence, frightening images, and sensuality. I'm actually going to disagree. It did stop. There were lots of stops. Anyway, fantasy, adventure, action. Original language was English. Debatable. May 3rd, 2004. Budget. Wow, for 2004, that's a giant budget. $160 million. In the US, it grossed $120 million, and worldwide, it grossed $300 million. So, I think we could say they made their budget but not necessarily a financial success simply because the budget was so big.
Mm-hmm. Domestically, not as successful. Worldwide,
Yeah.
was successful.
Yeah.
I think it made half of its budget back just in home video sales. I think I read that somewhere.
Which could be true. I feel like this movie, I was definitely in high school by then. I feel like this movie was like a big movie when it came out, but even bigger because this was right around when DVDs were starting to really hit the market big.
DVDs were king.
Yeah.
And Hugh Jackman was big.
This is right after Kate and Leopold or whatever. his big breakout film.
Oh yeah. The one that everybody remembers him from.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I don't remember if that's the actual title though. Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. Oh my God, Beckinsale, Richard Roxburgh, David Wenham, Will Kemp, Kevin J. O'Connor, and Shuler Hensley. Couple people. Shuler. Couple people that we have seen in the past. Richard Roxburgh was the sidekick for the villain in Mission Impossible 2, which he looked so different in that one. And Kevin J. O'Connor was in The Mummy. Played, was it Lenny? What was his name?
Benny.
That's
who that guy was. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
were you trying to figure that out?
Yeah.
And then, well, we haven't, I find him to be an odd person, not because he's actually odd, but I don't understand his track record of work. David Wenham. So he plays a friar in this movie. He also was ripped in the movie 300 right after this. And right before this, he was Faramir.
Yeah.
From Lord of the Rings.
He went from Faramir to this.
Back to Faramir. And then to 300. Yeah, that always threw me off because every time I saw him in this, I thought, God dang, that guy looks so familiar. And then it would take me a little bit to figure out that he was Faramir. And I was like, wait, I guess that is, the range of actors, but it always threw me off so bad. And then seeing him in 300, I was just confused because I guess he's wearing lots of body armor in Lord of the Rings, and then he has the big cloak in this. So it just...
Then he's just naked in 300.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, guess who voiced well, don't look at it, but guess who voiced Mr. Hyde?
Oh, I already saw that.
Yeah.
And I was surprised as well. Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah, who, if you're unaware, good old Hagrid. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard, Harry. That's my bad impression. And then, Kate Beckinsale, lovely actor, but I don't actually think we've watched a movie with her in it yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, those are the actors, and this is the Recap Rewind. And this is where we transition into a little bit of time where we rewind and recap the movie for you. In case, 1, you haven't seen it in a while. 2, have never seen it. Or 3, wanted to see it from a different perspective. Mother, my wife's slamming the door. And this week, it's I did not react well to that.
Nope.
This week, it is Tristan's turn to recap, and I'm very excited to hear where this goes because I honestly, I have no clue, honestly. So let's go. Here we go. Tristan, you're on, buddy.
In 2017, Universal Studios tried to introduce its plans for a modernized telling of classic Gothic horror that ultimately was misguided and sent them back to the drawing board to try again, which we are seeing the new efforts attempted today. However, this wasn't the first time Universal had this wasn't the first time Universal tried this. They've had the rights to classic monster stories for nearly a century, and we've seen these monsters emerge from the murky abyss of Hollywood horror every 10 years or so. At the turn of the century, Universal saw success with The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Getting a sequel in 2001 and a spin-off with The Scorpion King, and wanting to engage their captive audience, Universal and Mummy director and writer Stephen Sommers set their eyes on the next monster to bring to the big screen, Dracula, and the vampire hunter himself, Professor Abraham Van Helsing. That wasn't me going bleh, but that was it's supposed to be Blade, but I sounded like I was barfing instead, and I apologize. Sommers wanted to transform the clean-cut polymath doctor into the next James Bond. Instead of being a British secret agent working for MI6, this version, well, that wasn't the version of, that's the James Bond thing. The original one is just a doctor.
Is he German?
I think he was German. I don't know. He's just a guy that knows a lot.
Okay.
And is also a vampire hunter, which is whatever.
Which is what mathematicians are.
Yeah. Mathematicians are the best vampire hunters. And we know this because of Bram Stoker. This version of Van Helsing is a monster hunter working with the Knights of the Holy Order, an order that runs out of the catacombs below the Vatican and comprises members of religions around the world. Oh, and his name is Gabriel. It's what?
You just reminded me of that, and I was like,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
God.
1886, Transylvania. Dr. Victor Frankenstein has brought his creation to life. With an angry mob storming his castle, the doctor fears what is to come. But Frankenstein was not working on his own volition. Another party was pulling the strings and using the doctor's skills and knowledge for his own nefarious plans. Dracula. Frankenstein's monster is the key, and with it being brought to life, Dracula no longer needs the doctor. Frankenstein's monster tries to save the doctor, but is too late because Dracula has already relieved him of his blood. The monster picks up the body of his father and creator and carries him away from the castle, attempting to escape the oncoming horde of angry villagers and Dracula himself. The mob chases them to a windmill, trapping the monster inside and burning it down. Dracula catches up only to watch as the monster falls into the flames of the windmill. 1 year later, Paris.
You made that feel and sound so much sadder than the actual moment was. Like, I felt really emotional when you were saying that.
Yeah. And instead you're distracted by the vampire wives going,
exactly. Anyway, sorry.
1 year later, Paris. Van Helsing is chasing after Mr. Hyde, meant to bring him back to the order alive, but Hyde chooses to be difficult, leading to his death. Returning to Vatican City, it's revealed that Van Helsing has been serving as the order's monster hunter ever since he arrived on their doorstep without his memory. Van Helsing feels the grief of being named a murderer after his job requires him to face the monster when what is usually left behind is the body of an innocent man. But the cardinal reminds him of that by doing this duty, he may one day find the answers about himself that he seeks. There's little time for Van Helsing to rest, for the cardinal has a new mission for him, to save the last living descendants of the man who swore his family would never rest or enter heaven until Dracula was killed. Prince Velkin and Princess Anna. Van Helsing is handed a torn cloth with partial inscription, and like every James Bond movie, is led around a lab of fancy gadgets and is armed with everything he might need from a friar named Carl. Van Helsing recruits Carl to join him on this mission, and they set off for Transylvania. As soon as they arrive in town, Van Helsing and Carl are met by an unwelcoming group of villagers and Princess Anna. Her brother, Velkin, was recently killed by a werewolf, leaving her as the final family member of the Valerius descendants. It's not long before the vampire wives attack the village and to kill Anna, but Van Helsing is able to stop them by killing one of them. The wives escape back to Dracula and mourn the loss of their fallen sister. Van Helsing, Anna, and Carl go to the Valerius castle, formerly Dracula's castle, and begin looking for clues. Anna is set on going and killing Dracula right now, but Van Helsing wants more time to find a plan.
But I want to kill the vampire now!
That night, a werewolf breaks into the castle and for a short moment turns back into his human form. It's Prince Velkin. He is about to reveal something to Anna about Dracula's plans, but turns back into a werewolf before he can tell her. Van Helsing and Anna follow the werewolf back to Frankenstein's castle, where they find hundreds of hanging sacks containing the offspring of the vampires. Dracula is attempting his experiment on Velkin, hoping that his werewolf blood will help him, while using Frankenstein's invention to bring his children to life. It appears to work, and the baby vampires begin to hatch thanks to the power of the storm surging through Velkin's body and through Velkin and Frankenstein's device. There's so many names here.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't envy you simply for the names.
The wives take the babies to the village to feed, but Van Helsing and Anna are able to create a diversion and free Velkin from the machine just enough to stop everything from happening. And the life force through Velkin was not strong enough, though, to keep the little vampire creatures alive. And they begin to pop like Nickelodeon slime-filled water balloons.
No! Nick, Nickelodeon.
Oh, it was gross. Van Helsing and Anna escape the castle and find themselves at the ruins of the old windmill. They fall into a hole and discover a cavern below. In the cavern, they find Frankenstein's monster, still alive and hiding. Unfortunately, Velkin Wolf followed them and now knows the monster is still alive. Van Helsing convinces Anna not to kill the monster because he is not truly evil. And in order to protect him and keep him out of the reach of the vampires, the two try to escape back to Rome before the vampires catch up. During the chase, Van Helsing is able to kill another wife, but is attacked by Velkin Wolf. He shoots the wolf with a silver bullet, but not before he is scratched, bitten, whatever. And now he has 48 hours to find a cure, or he'll become a vampire. Nope, a werewolf forever. Distracted by the wound, the remaining vampire wife is able to grab Anna. Van Helsing, Carl, and Frank's monster are able to make it to Budapest, where he makes a deal to trade the monster for Anna in a public setting, planning to trick Dracula. But unbeknownst to them, Dracula is one step ahead, and the public ball was actually full of vampires. They're able to find the monster, but Van Helsing is able to save Anna first.
Duh.
The trio return to the castle, knowing that they need to stop Dracula from spawning his spawn, and finally piece together the clues in the castle. One of which is that Dracula can only be killed by a werewolf. They make their way to the hidden fortress and divide and conquer. They're able to stop the children from spawning, and Van Helsing in werewolf form is able to kill Dracula, but not before Anna dies sacrificially to give Van Helsing the cure. Van Helsing and Carl give Anna a funeral, and Van Helsing watches the spirits of her and her family finally enter heaven. Oh, also Van Helsing, much like Hugh Jackman, may be an angel sent from heaven, and was the person who, quote unquote, killed Dracula 400 years ago, but that whole thing gets really confusing and is unclear. Needless to say, this monster franchise that was supposed to get a sequel and a TV spinoff, much like its 2017 predecessor, was unsuccessful.
This is a weird freaking movie, man.
It's a strange one.
Like, I really liked this movie when I was younger. When it came out in 2004, I loved it. And it has some really winning qualities to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's enough that either doesn't make sense or is just weird. Oh man, I don't know if I still, or I don't know if it's to the point where I would say I don't like it. But it's definitely to the point where I'm like, what's going on in this movie, man? Like,
I feel like all of the pieces were there for this to be a really good movie and to be like of the Mummy caliber.
Yeah, agreed. But
it didn't land. Like the execution didn't land because I think they got distracted by some other things. But if you think about it, it really kind of feels like Sommers took the script that he did for The Mummy and reworked it to be vampires instead. Like there's some things that are very similar to that.
There's
that
definitely
story.
Similarities. Let's try to figure out story-wise, figuring out the story, like the things that worked. And one, for the most part, I do think that Hugh Jackman worked. Like he does the brooding action. He's fun. Now, the question is, does Van Helsing work? In the same way that Brandon Fraser as Rick McConnell, Rick as a character worked throughout the whole thing. Mr. Fraser worked excellent. He was like perfect for it. And now we have a role where the actor has already kind of proven his worth as far as action movies, and he's pretty good. He has the charm to kind of bring people in, but he also has the action side of it down pretty well. But does his character work? And I would say sort of.
Yeah. The reimagining of Van Helsing works.
Yeah. I like the idea of it.
The monster hunter kind of guy, that like the mercenary whose whose job it is to go after these monsters. Like that makes sense and it works.
Yeah.
The actual development of the character was not there.
Right.
One of the things I couldn't help but compare this to James Bond because they went out of their way to do the like Bond and Q moment of like, here's all your gadgets that you're gonna need.
That was super weird.
Like it felt weird and just kind of like I don't remember 2000. This must have been right in the middle of prime Pierce Brosnan James Bond, I think.
I think this is right after the last one. I think the last one was like 2002, maybe.
Oh, really?
I will look it up. But
oh yeah, because Pierce Brosnan was like the 90s,
right?
But so they try to. In some ways, it felt like they were trying to make a James Bond, but set in the 19th century. Mm-hmm. But they only used the tropes, but didn't make a story that was what would make James Bond work. Because with James Bond, except for like the newer stuff that they did a very good job of like creating some mystery of like, oh, what's his background with Skyfall and all that. But like before then, James Bond is not a mystery. James Bond is James Bond, and that's what he does. The mystery is how is he going to stop the villain? And like, what are the twists and the failures and the blah, blah, blahs along the way?
Right.
This one tried to present a mystery of the character and didn't follow through with it. Mm-hmm. And so the movie is presented as we're going to learn about Van Helsing as he defeats or fights against Dracula.
Right.
And we get no payoff for that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because they were planning on it to be a franchise. And so we were going to learn more about him along the way, but we got nothing.
And I think what makes that suck more is they spent a lot of time throwing in these pieces.
Yeah.
Throughout like a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the film would have been better without those moments.
Yeah. If he was just Van Helsing, the monster hunter, and that was his job, and that's who he was, not a problem.
Right.
But the fact that they tried to give him more,
right,
then like none of it really paid off. And I think that was where that character fell short.
I think to kind of add on to that or to echo that a bit, the idea of trying to build an elaborate background or mystery to the character when all you had to really do was just write like a stoic. You could have kept going with the like put off soldier of God, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That probably would have worked too. But then you have this thing where, they found him with no memory. But he's also like 1,000 years old or 2,000 years old or whatever. And maybe an angel or something, but can also turn into a werewolf, which kind of makes it seem as though I feel like if you're an immortal, though, that can't happen.
That's true. I didn't even think about whatever has kept him alive for over 400
probably
years.
Probably wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at guessing. Die Another Day was the last Pierce Brosnan movie, 2002.
Okay.
So 2 years before this. Anyway. Yeah. So his character just, it feels like they were building up for a sequel, but even in that, I feel like even if you were building up for a sequel, any information given should be building up something. And This felt like every time they added something to it, it just made it more confusing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also think his stoicism kind of doesn't necessarily work either. And what I mean by that is I was mad at him within the first 5 minutes of him being on the screen because he's hunting Hyde,
Mm-hmm.
and Hyde dies. And then this schmuck just goes to the edge of the roof and has a very defined silhouette, so much so that the French guy on the ground can look 300 feet in the air and go, Van Helsing, you murderer. And I'm like, you could have just not stood there.
Yeah.
I think you could have figured out he was dead. You didn't need to stare stoically.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you did it on purpose, like it, because when he goes back to Rome and he's essentially complaining, I feel like his moment, which cool action shot, I guess, but it kind of undercuts his point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you could also not be so damned obvious about it.
Do a better job of staying in the shadows, maybe.
I mean, you're wearing black and it was nighttime. All you had to do was like lean a little and no one would have seen you.
Yeah.
It would have looked like he jumped. Sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, he jumped through the window. Even more confusing. He smashed through the window in the middle of the building, and yet everyone's like, yeah, but it was that guy on the roof.
Yeah.
That guy on the roof did it.
How did that happen? Yeah, that was, I thought the same thing when he was standing there. I was like, dude, like, duck down.
Yeah. And he had a bunch of moments like that where it kind of was like, what? Why exactly are you doing that? I know it's to move the plot along, but also if you're saying this, it feels as though when Sommers was writing this, no one checked it for him.
Right.
It's just he threw a draft and people were like, you made the mummy. That made us so much money.
Keep going.
You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that bothered me the most is he gets back to Vatican and he's complaining about not wanting to be a murderer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm done with this. And then they're like, oh, but like, if you keep doing it, you'll find who you are. Like, there's two things that came out of that. One, feels like the Cardinal knows more than he's letting on. Because he said no, say your thing. Go through that, and then when you're done with it, I will give you the or. Okay. The Cardinal says some things that definitely make it sound like, hey, you're going to go to Transylvania and learn about yourself. And then, like, he doesn't really learn about himself. And then the second thing is the moment that he meets the only person who has ever suggested that they know anything about him, that they call him by his first name, that they say, hey, we know each other, and he doesn't give a crap.
Oh, yeah.
That should have been the biggest conflict of the whole movie. He should have been like, wait, this guy knows me. How does he know me? And then Dracula could have used that to be like, you don't have a memory of who you are. I know who you are. And we know each other. And then there could have been this whole conflict of like, do I kill the guy that I was sent to kill? Or do I like keep him alive so I can learn more about myself?
Right.
It didn't exist, but they laid all the groundwork for it to exist.
Right.
Okay. Say your or.
Or he's lying.
Oh, the priest?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or the cardinal.
I will say this, people can have their their beliefs in the religious stuff, all that good stuff. This movie's view of it does not work.
No.
It does not work at all. Because it is saying one of them is right, yet all of them are working together. But it is defining that one of them is right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's making God like a betting man in a weird, which, I don't know, Job, I guess. Oh, God. Anyway. All right. Anna. She's makes dumb decisions all the time. And I feel like she's there. She's not there for herself. And I say this as herself as her own character. She has a lot of problems in that she's not there as Anna, but a representation of her family.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, she's not there for herself. She's there to be the avatar for her family.
Mm-hmm.
2, almost entirely eye candy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use her to be like very pretty. Her outfit, it's just like she's wearing like leggings. I don't even know what fabric that is, because she moves way too well for it to be leather. And then like the corset and the top, it's just for the eyes.
I probably paused this movie like a dozen times in the first half hour just to like process how ridiculous things were. One of those moments being it shows the picture of her father, it shows the picture of her brother, and they both like they don't quite look right, but it's like obviously costumey type things. Right. But it's like, oh, they look like they exist in this time period.
Then there was a picture of her. The projector photos are like grainy. Yeah. And all of that, and then they show her, and it's like 4K.
And it's 4K. She's got modern makeup on, and she just it looks so out of place.
Her eyeliner was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
It was crazy. Okay, but a lot of this point is to emphasize that she's there for eye candy, and then so like in The Mummy, because we're comparing it to The Mummy, his previous work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on her name. What's the character's name?
The character's name? I don't remember. Rachel Weisz.
Yeah. But I was like, Rachel's not her name.
I can't think of her name.
I'm almost there.
Rachel Weisz.
Evelyn.
Dang it.
For whatever reason, I had Lily in my head. I'm like, that's not right. They called her Evie. That's why.
Evie,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Evelyn is the main character in a lot of ways. In this one, Anna is not the main character.
No.
And she's used for just really kind of weird plot movement. The reason I bring this up is there's the one scene where they're talking about trying to find her brother or whatever it might be, and he who was it? Yeah, Van Helsing says something about his brother, and then she responds with, he's in Dracula's thing and he has a cure. And I'm like, who gave you this information? Who the heck is giving you this information? No one. The writer just said it. The writer just put it in and was like, hey, here's some info for you. Here you go. This is going to move the plot along very well. It's like no one said crap about a cure. Like, no. Why would Dracula have a cure?
There
Why
were
would
multiple moments. Like it was.
Why would he have it? I don't understand.
I think what even made it more, like even more like that, is Frankenstein's monster. He has all this information. He's a wealth of knowledge for them.
Right.
He shouldn't know anything because he was brought to life the night that he got chased out of the castle and fell into the hole underneath the windmill.
I'm curious about that. So in our scope of what is this? Is this mythology? Would this be considered mythology?
No, because I think mythology suggests that it was like it may have been something that happened where this is a lore of the story.
Then
but continue your thought.
I'm just thinking of the Frankenstein monster. That's really all I'm really thinking of. Whatever the words are there. So the brain belongs to someone else.
Yes.
But he was born that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So is it...
Does he have the memories
Does
of
he
the
have
brain
the
that were
memories
put in?
of the brain, or does he have the mental prowess and capacity of whatever brain is in there, or is it just a blank slate? Because if it's a blank slate, your point is 100% valid.
Even if it's not a blank slate, though, like there's no explanation of, oh, the brain that they used was this guy that knew the doctor and the blah, 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 blah. Like he could be the smartest brain.
Yeah, where
that
did
they
he
could
get
find,
all that information? Where did he get it?
But where did he know? How does he know that Dracula has a cure and where it's located? How does he know that what Dracula's plans even are? Like there are so many things. The thing that could have suggested is that if he said, I've been sneaking around but trying to stay out of sight to learn what he's doing.
Right. If he was spying on him, but like...
Or if Frankenstein himself was not fully dead and told him, like, in his dying breath, like, this is what's happening, you have to stay hidden.
Yeah, but he was super dead.
But he was super dead.
He was super dead. That's a really good point. Yeah, the monster didn't make any sense hardly at all.
The monster was a MacGuffin monster. Monstguffin.
Monster.
I almost said McMuffin.
He is a McMuffin. I no hate to the actor. I just hated all the yelling. Like I just gosh, every time he was on screen he was yelling.
But that's the Frankenstein thing.
I know. There were lots of things in this movie. So anyway, Anna didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
She wasn't substantial enough of a character. I think she could have been. She easily could have been.
Oh yeah.
But
she could have been a really interesting character. And if they had made this movie today with the same exact characters and the same exact plot, they would have made her character so much better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Carl is the straightforward comedy relief. He's the
Jonathan of the group.
He is the Jonathan. He doesn't need to be there,
no.
But he's there. And then moving forward, Dracula annoys the hell out of me so much, and I don't think it's his fault. I don't understand what they're doing with accents in this movie. I don't get it. I don't get it. Cause like, okay, Van Helsing has a very German name, but he's like thousands of years old. So he's Gabriel or however old he is. But he's English, which yes, but by this time,
vaguely English.
Sometimes it doesn't come through as clear as it could. with a really like German name, and what was it? But he was spending most of his time since his memory came back or whatever
In Rome,
in
yeah.
Rome. I honestly would have been fine if just everyone had a British accent. Just
Yeah.
just do that move where it was just let's Star Wars it. Everyone's British, whatever. Like or what was that Tom Cruise Nazi movie, the Nazi German Valkyrie?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, where just no one gave a crap about accents.
Hmm.
You got British, you got American, but they're all in Nazi Germany. You know what? As long as everyone commits, I'm fine with that. But the fact that Dracula sounded that way
Yeah.
and then the wives, all of that was just irritating. It was more irritating this time than it ever has before, and I don't know why it was more irritating.
Did you and I have this conversation before, or maybe I had it with somebody else about like, do British people find it as acceptable for
Are you racist?
Europeans?
Are you racist right now?
No. Do they find it acceptable
Nay.
for like European people in movies to have a British accent? Like, does that feel
interesting.
the same to them that it does to Americans? Because to Americans, we hear a British accent for someone who's supposed to be from Italy, and we're like, I'm in. But if we hear an American accent, there was something I was watching recently where like everybody was British except for one guy. Oh, Gladiator 2.
Was it Valkyrie?
No. It was. I watched Gladiator 2, and in it, Denzel Washington just has his normal accent, and it feels so out of place. I was like, I can believe all of these British accented people are Roman,
Yeah.
but not him, because it sounded so off. And so I wonder if other people who hear their accent in I
feel like it would have been historically accurate if he had like even like some tinge of a region in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You would have been like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Like Roman people were stealing Africans too, you know? Like, yeah.
That's part of the movie. Yeah.
But no, he sounds like Denzel.
He sounds like Denzel dressed up in some robes.
There is something, I don't know. There is something to it to where the British accent kind of, at least maybe in the American mind, the British accent just feels blanket for European.
Yeah, it's a European accent that we can understand for the most part.
Right. I'm just wondering if maybe all of these people were thinking of Romanian accents and just maybe took it too far or something.
I think it has to do with, because this movie did, one of the things that I think it did well and was kind of fun about it was pulling very much from classical cinema.
Right.
But I think in that there were those European accents, those types of things. So they're trying to pull from that, but in the most cartoony way possible.
Yeah, I think, I wonder what it is. Maybe it is that they did have a very cartoonish level of like an extreme for some of, particularly Dracula, when like if you kind of take a step back, it's all kind of ridiculous. You know, he just doesn't make sense. And so to have that accent too just feels too over the top, to the point where I was like, I don't think this guy's a good bad guy. And he should be, because Dracula feels like one of the should be kind of the best bad guy, or at least like he's one of the more long running kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also don't understand the mythology of him. I don't like, because they said, I forget what it was that gave him his drinking the blood immortality, but then the devil gave him the wings. And so it was like, so wait, are you saying there's a little devil and he's just like giving wings to Dracula? So like, what exactly is God doing? So wait, hold on.
This movie is very confusing on where it draws the line of heaven and hell being a real thing and heaven and hell being a metaphorical thing.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, when we say that the devil gave him wings, are we saying that actually happened?
That
or
the
are we
literal
saying
devil
that
gave him wings. Yeah.
that's what people are saying,
right,
because of the mythology of that character. Yeah, it's kind of like, wait, which one is happening right now?
And then the whole movie, a few times, they're not the whole movie, but throughout the movie, they're trying to justify like some of the other mythology, but it just doesn't really make sense. So, the ice portion. So him and his wives just get like stuck in the ice, and that's what they're doing. And then later, they're showing that the mirror or whatever and the ice is like a doorway. But that's not the same thing that's happening when Dracula and his wives are getting stuck in like they're literally getting stuck in ice. And I don't understand what this is.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of thoughts. One, I think one of the things that we're getting at here is that the tone of this movie felt really weird.
Yeah. It has no consistency in tone. It tries really hard to be horror, and then it goes super campy, and then it goes action comedy, and then it goes horror, and then it goes action comedy, campy, horror.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of bounces back and forward.
I think it could have found a good balance of all of that, but it just didn't know where it wanted its main focus to be. And so it's like, we don't want to be too spooky, so let's add some camp in there. And then it's like, well, we don't want to be too campy, we want to be taken seriously, so let's like go back towards the action side of it. And it just kind of like kept bouncing back and forth instead of finding a blend of it all.
Right.
Regarding the ice specifically, the first time it happened, I was like, did they just like go get frozen in ice? Like that's how they nap? But then when they do the door, I interpreted that as they use the ice / glass as doorways.
That's what I thought at first.
But we see their bodies just kind of like frozen in there.
That's the problem, because I thought that too, and I was like, oh, maybe they just portal through to like their bedroom or whatever. But they're just stuck there. And then when Van Helsing,
when he raises from his coffin, he breaks out of the ice.
Right.
So that's another weird one. Yeah.
But then Van Helsing, Anna, and Carl go through the portal. There's no like
image.
There's no image stuck there. There's no after image. So maybe I thought it was, maybe it's like an after image. But no, they like go have maritals in ice.
We didn't see was the side that they entered from, right? Because we see Van Helsing and Anna and Carl walk through. I'm curious if we saw it from the castle side, if we would have seen their image stuck in the door, like kind of frozen in the door from behind.
Hey, Tristan, I love you. You're reaching.
Hey, these are the types of things that
someone's got to think of.
Needed to be like, hey, man, what the heck is happening here?
He's like, it makes perfect sense, you idiot. Yeah. The wives, kill them all. They're so annoying. I don't understand what the whole purpose of it. I think I do. I think the idea is, for a lack of a better way to say, they're just really horny. Like, I think that's what it's supposed to be. Like everything is sensual, everything is like
Yeah,
extreme in that
I
way.
I think that maybe one of the moments that got pulled from classic Dracula cinema that translated in a very weird way, because that old version of cinema, they had to be like overly dramatic with all of
Right.
their movements and everything that they were
Right.
doing. And the first one was in the 20s or the 30s, I
Yeah,
think. So
it
like,
was
was it
silent.
I think it was a silent film. And so their body movement had to be this over dramatic thing.
Yeah.
And they tried to use that in here, but when you because of the tone and the tone, them not knowing fully what the tone was, they pulled these classic cinema things and it didn't translate well. And so you have really funny moments of Dracula like standing up with his hand on his head, like just being super dramatic. And then the wives in the background just like always like writhing and reaching and like
Right.
wailing. And it like it would make sense in classical film where you can't hear them and they're using their bodies to communicate whatever's happening. But in
Right.
something where I mean, the movie starts in black and white, so it's
Right.
fully pulling from that. In this, where they don't keep that for everything that's happening,
Right.
we can hear them, so we're not relying only on physicality of it all. It just came out really weird, and I think that's part of what you're talking about, is the way that they're just like clinging to each other and clinging to him and like
Right.
doing all
Well,
these
and like
things.
the hard part is, I've never read Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've never read it. So I don't know how it describes all the things. But Dracula is, in the original thing, trying to seduce the wife of his barrister.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a lot of assumptions of it. But then, like, Francis Ford Coppola goes, like, real weird with it in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that's what he's using as he's taking that silent era stuff, but then also the weird sexualness of the 90s movie, and then kind of going, yeah, there it is. But it just, their screams are obnoxious. They're always crying. They're always like yell crying.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, when they're in their weird vampire things, they are intimidating. I think there is something to that, but when they are themselves, I feel like he could have done so much with that and made it really suspenseful and really built something. But it is that thing of like, you showed the monster too soon. But then also just Dracula's interaction with the wives was super annoying too. Like, he doesn't like them. They are just for the physicality and the reproduction. But then too, he said some bullshit that pissed me off so much, which was I have no heart, I have no feeling, I have no thing, whatever it was. Like, he was basically saying like, I can't feel. And it was like, it feels like you're feeling a lot right now.
The most emotional, I don't have feelings.
You are so emotional, and for you to try to run this game and say you're not emotional is wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes it rough, is the campiness and the dialogue is one thing, and then what he's acting, the dialogue is one thing, and how he's acting with the campiness is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just doesn't work.
Yeah. He's like over dramatic. He is extremely emotional. And yet he's like, I have no feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a weird one.
Alrighty. Lots of things. Last thing that I will say that I didn't like, that top hat guy He's just named Top Hat. That guy is the most suspicious looking guy ever. The fact that everyone's just following this creep, the village, everyone. And I'm like, why aren't you guys attacking him? He clearly is the one who's the bad guy, right? Like
this guy's a problem.
Like, I think he might be working with Dracula. And then he gets killed. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. We had
in
a
a
good
very
moment.
like cartoony and out of tone way. It's just,
but also it's just weird. It's like they took the what is his, like, what does he do? Is he the main servant in I don't know if you've seen it, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
oh yeah,
Not Tim Curry's character, the guy who sings Time Warp.
yeah.
What? Riff Raff, a handyman. He's a handyman.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave him his costume and put a top hat on him and called it a day. And I was just like, this guy is so out of place.
Pretty much.
I don't understand him. And then Frankenstein has an English accent.
They made him so they made him stand out from everybody so much.
Even in the black and white, he looked weird.
What?
Even in the black and white, he stood out so much.
Yeah. They made him stand out in a way that made it seem like he was going to be a bigger character.
Right. That's
why
you
don't make a character stand out like that if their role is to die.
Right. And that's why I was wondering, because like I assume he like worked for Dracula and they just never showed it or something, because when he's talking to Van Helsing and then when Van Helsing turns and he goes to swing his shovel, it's like, wait, why are you doing this? Like, what purpose do you have to do this?
Yeah, why?
You are intending for Van Helsing to die, but why? And it seems like you were on the side of the werewolf killing him, who was sent out by Dracula. So do you work for him? What is going on?
Yeah.
And it never gets answered. So there you go. But also like I said it quickly, but to say it again, one of the reasons I thought it would have been okay if they just did British accents was because Frankenstein, who was German, had a British accent. And so I was just like, oh, yeah, just have them all be British. That's fine. And then Dracula spoke and it was like, oh, we're not doing that. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what a weird freaking movie.
It could have been so good though. Like there are pieces in there of something that could have been really, really good.
Here's what I will say. Some of the CGI is awful. And then some of it is so good.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's crazy. The scene where Dracula gets pushed into the fire and his body starts to heal itself. It looked so good.
Yeah.
And then the part where like a Jack in the Box, the Frankenstein monster's head like pops apart.
Oh yeah.
One, gruesome, gross,
horrible. Yeah.
But two, excellent.
Yeah.
I was looking at it and I was really analyzing. I was like, where's the fakeness? And I was genuinely like, no, that's A+. That's really good.
Yeah, and it's crazy because especially face related CG, I feel like is one of the hardest things to pull off, because making it look real and making it look believable. And that's two really great moments where they did something with a person's face that was like, whoa, that was actually really good. I think that the way that they used practical and computer generated stuff for Frankenstein's monster was a really good use of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Vampire Wives didn't always look great.
No, they had bad moments. Honestly, the things that I was shocked was bad, like really bad, was some of the environmental stuff.
Yeah.
I always feel oftentimes that CGI, even not the best CGI, could make environments look really good.
Mm-hmm.
This one had scenes where it looked awful.
Mm-hmm.
One was when Anna's brother first gets well, not first gets, but when he's first introduced and he gets thrown into the river, and then Anna's like looking over the ledge and looking into the river, like, and then they zoom out,
yeah,
and she is just in a world of green screen.
Mm-hmm.
It looked so bad. There was no consistency in lighting at all. It looked rough. It was so rough. And there were just a lot of those moments where the environment, just the inability to clarify some of those aspects of CGI made it so rough. You can kind of forgive some of the other stuff, some of the like the wives, because even for that time it was pretty ambitious.
Yeah,
but some of the green screen just looked so bad.
It was rough. The other, like, the big CG thing that I remember being just like, oh, this is rough, is Hyde.
Yeah.
Hyde was
that is
bad.
1999, not 99. That's like, I don't know. I'm being too mean. But it is very animated. Like, it is very...
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't, with everything else that they did, like, why didn't they have a mixture of practical and CG? Like, I think I was reading that the guy who, Shuler, who played Frankenstein, I think was the body double for Hyde. And they said they put like a big cardboard cutout on his head so that Hugh Jackman knew where to look for that. But, like, you made Frankenstein this mostly practical.
I think it's because they
CG,
really tried to make Hyde this impossible creature.
Yeah. But he wasn't. He was just a really big dude.
But some of the stuff they made him do,
he did things that were
how he moved, how he climbed, how he did everything. Yeah, it felt very Polar Express.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is so funny because some of the monsters, like even the Dracula kids, they weren't that bad. The blowing up was gross.
Yeah.
And some of the werewolf animation CGI was really good. The werewolf was a little too cartoony. Like, I don't know what the ears were doing. Like, I don't know what
they were weirdly pointy.
Yeah, they were very 1950s cartoon pointy. Or whenever it was. I don't know. The guy who's like, "Ahooga."
Yeah.
But when they turned into the werewolf and they, like, instead of growing hair, they're shedding their human skin, that looked really cool. Like, that was really good.
Yeah. You know, it was interesting. I thought the first werewolf that we see looked really good, and the Van Helsing werewolf was really good, but it was the brother werewolf that looked like what's going on? You're the one that's in this the most and probably look the worst out of all of them. This is a really random thought, but speaking of Hyde and the way they did that character, I can't help but think of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which came out the year before this one. And like, it's still CG. There's some moments that don't look great, but that version of Hyde is a believable version who does things that are like weird and creaturey. But it just like, they were not able to pull off that same vibe of character in this.
That's interesting too, because that Hyde isn't like, by I guess today's standards. I don't know. That movie, they did a bunch of stuff that was really clever.
Yeah. Well, it's also weird because the Hyde looked really good, but then the guy, the bad guy who gets the Hyde thing and basically turns into the evil Hulk. It's like Hulk versus
it's the end of
Abomination kind of thing.
It's the end of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, and exactly. And he doesn't. The bad guy does not look good. The CG for that is really bad. But for Hyde, it was like really impressive.
That's funny. That's another movie that made really weird decisions where I'm like, I know you're trying to do something, but I don't think this is the right medium. Okay. So some of the CGI really did work. Some of the practical effects really did work. I mean, outside of the plot errors, overall Hugh Jackman was pretty good. I just think Kate Beckinsale, she's a great actor. I just think they gave her the crummiest role possible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Richard Roxburgh, great actor too. I don't know what they did with him. The Frankenstein was so annoying, and like he was a MacGuffin. Like he had the answer to everything, whatever it might be. Carl was fun but unnecessary. Velkin, you know what pissed me off about Velkin? If he believed what Dracula was doing as far as destroying the world, whatever it might be,
mm-hmm.
like he should have allowed himself to die then.
Mm-hmm.
Like he should have, because if he believed he was the werewolf and knew he was the werewolf and knew he was just going to kill people, then he should have just let himself die. If he knew he was going to be used to create an army of Dracula vampires, why didn't he let himself die? Like, there's so many reasons to, I guess, let it go for the sake of everything, to where Van Helsing's right in that, what was the thing of he doesn't know that he's killing people. I think she says something to that extent. And he's like, yeah, but he's still killing people. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem isn't whether he knows it or not. The problem is that he's doing that.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be used to be this grand tool to bring upon the Dracula apocalypse or whatever, then the mythology just doesn't track.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fully understand it.
Yeah, I think they tried to play it off in that Dracula has his ways of like controlling. Dracula has mind control of some sort.
Yeah.
That is part of his character.
That's the hardest part about this movie, is keeping track of exactly what Dracula can and can't do.
Yeah. And so he is able to kind of control the werewolf side of Velkin. So like that side of it makes sense. But okay. Talking about Velkin, it annoys me so much. He had two great moments with so much time where he could have said the thing that he needed to say. he's like, sister, I need to tell you something. And she's like, what is it? And he's like, Dracula. And then he goes, "Bleh, bleh, bleh," for like 30 seconds before he changes into a werewolf.
Right.
He very easily could have been like, this is the problem, and I'm going to turn back into a werewolf. I love you. Goodbye. And like,
Right.
just said it. Because how quickly Van Helsing turns into a werewolf is like instant.
Yeah.
But for him, he's like, oh no. And then he like starts climbing up the wall, which doesn't make any sense. And then like,
yeah,
eventually
that one
he
was
turns
weird
into
because
a werewolf and then jumps out the window and is like, dude, you had so much time to tell her.
Right.
And then when he died, he even had time to like.
He died? No,
yeah, he died.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, he died. Spoilers. But when he dies, he has a moment where he could have like
Given her
said
more
something
news.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, there is that weird, and it goes on to Anna's being eye candy or whatever. There's a weird sexual tension between them, and then the conclusion to it was, she died.
Mm-hmm.
It just was like, then why even have that? Ignore that. Don't do that. Just,
Let them be friends that work together.
yeah. You don't need to. There's no, it doesn't build the story anymore. I don't, were there any quotes that you like? Do you like this movie? We never said the overall. I think maybe we did by just saying that this movie's weird.
It's weird. We I don't know. Like even
I think a lot of things Carl said were pretty funny.
yeah.
What, like when he has the sun thing and he's like, what would I even use this for? He's like, I don't know. You could blind your enemies. Charbroil a herd of Chargrin wild beasts. Use your imagination. I end up saying use your imagination ever so often.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Let's go back.
I feel like every time we talk about something, I'm like, here's another thing that annoyed me.
Here's another son of a...
I don't understand what Carl / the people in this world know and don't know about the weaknesses and abilities of the monsters they're going after. Right? They know that Silverbolt's
Carl is very red on it, and he makes a point of saying, like, I read. But also, like, are these answers really everywhere?
He has a grenade that can make light as bright as the sun. And he's like, I don't know how we're going to use this. I know we're going to go fight vampires, but I don't know how this grenade that can make light as bright as the sun is going to help us in any way whatsoever. I don't know. I'm dumb.
But also on that note, that wasn't the first thing he thought when the vampires disappeared and Anna goes, it's the sun. Yeah. There's a scene where they literally say the sun is what scares them because they will die. And Carl wasn't just like, I got one of those.
Yeah. Like, they should have, as soon as they realized that everybody in the ballroom was a vampire, just
thrown it in there. That would have worked. That would have made. Oh, here's the last thing I think we'll talk about, and then we'll go to the review rewind. But I think this is a great point. This movie is so long. It needs a good half an hour cut out of it. It is so long. I had a moment where I was like checking what was happening, and we got to the point where, what was it? Van Helsing got scratched. We know what his plan is. We know what Frankenstein's monster knows. We know how to solve it. We know all of this stuff, and there's still 40 minutes left. It was like, wait, what else do you need to do? This is the team is is putting on their belts and their pistols and their whatever, and they're good to go. And then it got longer because they went through the door portal without any weapons. What?
Yeah.
This movie is so stupid sometimes. Oh, nuts. I don't think I like this movie, and I used to really like this movie.
I feel like if we just sat here, we could continue to think of things that are like, what about this thing?
I have never put any of this in my mind at all. I have never thought this, but this isn't because you did anything. This was just, I watched this movie and I was like, hey, let's see if this is a good movie. And my brain was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus. Well, with that said, and now it's time for the Review Rewind, where we take a look at a positive review and a negative review, and we see where we fall. This movie was not liked. In Metacritic, 35%. Rotten Tomato, 24%. Rotten Tomato audience, 57%. And IMDb audience, 6.1. Fun fact. The audience score for both Rotten Tomato and IMDb is exactly the same as Mystery Men.
Really?
Yeah. Because I copy it and then I just fill in the stuff, and I didn't have to change those.
That's funny.
So why don't you read the positive review, which this was the highest review I could find.
Oh boy. Okay. I clicked away. There we go. The Hollywood Reporter gave it an 80, saying this creature feature is exhilarating, fun, a richly designed and often quite funny re-exploration of the movie past.
I think for this movie to be good, they had to have picked one. Is it going to be what is it? Funny re-exploration of the movie past, like make it a action comedy straightforward, almost take out all the horror aspect of it, or it had to be like a horror thriller with action in it.
Yeah, to me, most of the funny moments felt way out of place.
Yeah. Anyway, San Francisco Chronicle gave it a 0. Sommers' film just lies there, weighted down by complete lack of wit, artfulness, and internal logic. So it's a disaster. A big, loud, boring wreck. I don't know if I would go that far either. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm giving it a D- because it's not great. It has some really cool ideas and some really stupendous CGI at times that it has to get credit for. But it is a bad movie. Like, it is not a good movie at all.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. This San Francisco Chronicle one, I would say that there is moments of being very artful.
Yeah, some of it looks lovely. Like,
yeah,
not lovely because it's all dark and dank and
right.
Whatever.
But like it looks, it's done really well.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention the Oompa Loompas, the dark Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, what? I meant to say something about that too. I just don't understand what the purpose of it. Yeah. And then am I to understand am I to understand that they speak Romani or whatever language they were speaking? Because all I heard from them was like, yeah, and then Anna was like,
that the mask comes off. He just goes,
right. But then Anna's like, they said they have my brother. And I was like, wait, what?
I did not catch
You
that.
heard that? You understood that?
I didn't catch that.
Do you speak multiple languages? Because that doesn't sound like anything I've heard from them. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It sounded like monster talk.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh yeah, Anna, she understood that. I was like, what?
Okay.
Maybe I misunderstood that part too. Maybe she didn't say it that way, but I swear I heard her say they said, and I was like, what? You understood that? Holy crap.
Yeah. I think there are some artful moments of this movie. I think it gets bogged down by trying to be monster action creature. What is it? Nonstop creature action.
You know what?
And
what makes
doesn't
this movie
focus on developing anything.
You know what makes this hard? It's not campy enough to be fun, but it's not good enough to be campy. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't teeter either way. It's just bad, and then the campiness is not campy enough, so it's just bad. And then the writing is not great, and the character development's not great, and all that stuff. But I don't know. Hugh Jackman and what's her name? I already forgot.
Kate Beckinsale.
So bad at names, dude. Yeah, Kate Beckinsale. They were Beckinsale. I said Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. We're having a Kate Beckinsale.
They were nice to look at.
Yeah,
They're pretty.
They were nice to look at.
You know. Here's my one comment about Hugh Jackman in this movie. His beard seemed to change regularly.
I was too distracted by how sometimes his hair looked great and sometimes it looked real bad.
Yeah, it did. It looked real weird. But his beard sometimes was kind of nice and full. And I was like, oh, that's a good look. And then it was like 5 o'clock shadow almost. And then with his hair, the 5 o'clock shadow is like, oh, that doesn't look good. You look like you're wearing a helmet right now. But then when the beard was thicker, it was like, oh, that's a good combination. And maybe the hair looked bad because of the beard.
I think it's maybe a mixture of the beard, but also it was extensions because he was in the middle of, he was filming X2 around the same time as this. I think it was X2. So there were some scenes where it's like, oh, he's on break from this, so he's filming X2 or whatever. So it may be a Superman's mustache situation where before the dumbest person in the world, sorry to whoever that person was, but whoever made that decision is the dumbest person in the world. But the dumbest person in the world was like, we could CG that out. We could do it. Yeah, we could totally do it. We could do that. Anyway.
Oh, he has a mustache? No, that's fine. We can use CGI. It's fine. And then they did it, and it was like, it was not fine. There was not a single minute of that was fine. It was gross. It's gross.
What if they had kept the mustache, and then just somebody in the movie was like, Superman's got a mustache, and then somebody just
someone
like,
else
oh,
is like,
he
I'm pretty
cut it
sure
out.
Superman does porn. Like I don't.
Yeah,
from the from the 70s, like it's just right there.
Do something.
Give him a beard. They could have done a whole beard. He could have looked cool. Maybe, I don't know. It was so bad. Anyway. I just like that we finished talking about a bad movie to go into another bad movie.
That's what we're here for.
Well, thanks for listening. I think the answer would be don't watch this movie. You don't have to. If you like Hugh Jackman, I guess you could watch it, but it's not to your edification, that's for sure. Tristan,
hi.
Thanks for chatting.
Thanks.
Sorry for making you watch this.
Okay.
And listeners, remember to review those rewinds, and we will see you next time.